Anybody in America
deserves
deserve
a fair chance.
a fair chance.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right.
I got Roland Martin on his show wearing a cowboy hat to troll and ultimately excoriate me with a bunch of panelists I've never seen in my damn life. And I got other people reaching out trying to get at me because I have the audacity not to be celebrating a cold-blooded murderer. These are the damn times that we're living in. You hear me, America? Luckily, your boy Stephen A. ain't interested in running. You know what time it is. Let's go.
America, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Tony Dove Show. In this edition, we've got Mr. Stephen A. Smith and Mr. Roland Martin beefing with each other. This is the beef of the century because these are two giant powerhouses, so to speak. They are tearing each other apart with this political argument that they have. I am Tony Dove. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to our channel. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers so that we can get this information out to everyone faster. We got to keep up to date minute news so that you all are well informed with the facts. And as I always say, you all don't have very much time, so we're going to get right down to the nitty gritty. Let's watch some more of Mr. Stephen A. Smith.
Let me get right to it because there's a lot of stuff to get into, and I'm not mad and pissed off like some people are, but I'm not going to run from subjects either because certain things need to be broached. And we're going to get started today in the world of politics and social media where many of you have taken issue with my takes on the political headlines. I want to say for the record, that's fair. I accept it, and it often comes with being a pundit in this business. I've accepted that a long time ago. With that being said, I want to address some recent comments from my friend Roland Martin, who took issue with my thoughts this past weekend on the Justice Department's report on the January 6th Capitol riots in 2021. In summary, I made the connection that Donald Trump appeared to be right to some degree when it came to the conspiracy theories about the FBI's involvement on that day. At least that's how some took it. Well, here's what Roland Martin had to say Monday about my comments on his show, Roland Martin Unfiltered. Take a listen.
I have no idea what the hell Stephen A. was just talking about. I know Stephen A. I respect Stephen A. Stephen A.
Guys, notice the snickering in the background. The Democrats are very good at having snickering and condescending facial expressions, thus the condescending facial expressions that Miss Kamala Harris had during the debate with Mr. Trump. They are very good at acting, but what they have a problem with is substance. We don't care about the snickering. Those are people in his background that are snickering, that are people who are on his side. Of course, they're going to be down with him, whatever he says. But let's continue on further.
You know sports. On this, you know what the hell you talking about. Like, I literally have no idea what the hell he was talking about there.
The snickering.
How he's pissed off and the Democrats and Trump said stuff was rigged. And y'all, MAGA is running that clip everywhere. Oh, they are saying, oh, see, even Stephen, the truth, they always know the truth. Go to my iPad.
Mr. Martin, we don't trust these reports. We do not trust anything that is coming from the DOJ or the government or the Department of Justice and the FBI or anything. All of these people are in cahoots together. This is why you lost the election. America has no trust or belief in these agencies or this government that is run by this Biden administration. This is what you all don't get. This is why you lost the election. You have lost the trust and belief in the heart and soul of most of the country. Let's dive in further.
No, he lied. He lied.
Couple of things. First off, Roland Martin, nice touch with the cowboy hat. You should wear it more often. It's fitting of you. You are from Texas, after all. You're a Texans fan, if I remember correctly. So it's more apropos that you put on that hat even more so than I do. So
What a
good look
dig,
there.
Mr. Smith.
But nice try. Ain't gonna work this way. Before I get into it any further, let me show my audience exactly what Roland Martin was replying to when he said, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. This is what he was responding to that had him all up in a tizzy. Take a listen. The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appeared to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that for the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. The belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that the process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way.
Now, that's very important because lied about, misrepresented, all of those things have come into play. Actually, the January 6th so-called insurrection was not an insurrection because most people no one's been charged with insurrection yet. Most people have been charged with maybe damaging Capitol building or trespassing, but no one has been charged of insurrection yet. Most likely, and Mr. Trump has not been charged with insurrection. So let's check this thing out. What is an insurrection? I don't think that most Americans know exactly what an insurrection is. So let's take a look at it right here. Insurrection, a noun, act, or an instance of revolting, especially violently against civil or political authority or against an established government. Also, crime of inciting or engaging in such revolt. Whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or against the authority of the United States. Let's just take the first part of that, guys, because revolting violently against civil authority, that can be applied to Black Lives Matters protests and riots because aren't the police civil authorities? You say, Professor D, Tony Dove, what do you mean? The police are civil authorities. Black Lives Matters took the opportunity to burn down and turn over police cars. They also burned down and set on fire police stations. They also resisted the police. Why do I know that they were resisting to the police? Because they were arrested by the police to the point that Kamala Harris had to go and try to bail them out, which she was successful at, by the way. But this time, Black Lives Matters will not have Kamala Harris by their side. She will not have the juice, nor the money, nor the power, nor the influence, nor the care. But these things have been utilized against the Trump administration and Trump supporters. This so-called insurrection crap or bull, sugar, honey, iced tea. And y'all know what I mean by those words. Because no one has been arrested and charged with insurrection. Now, why has that not happened? It is because the lawyers know that they would not be able to make that stick in a court of law. If you want to say that these people trespassed, of course they did. If you want to say that some of them caused damage to the state capitol, yes, of course. And some people should get some time and serve their jail or prison sentences and pay fines for that. But that's it. The very definition of insurrection, the attempt to overthrow government, is the definition of America itself. Have y'all forgotten? Have y'all forgotten civil history? Have y'all forgotten what you learned in junior high school? Wow, because America was founded and formed because we rebelled against the government of England. So every now and then, a little rebellion is not so bad, is it, America? Now, well, let's take Stacey Abrams and Miss Hillary Clinton. Are they insurrectionists? Because they rebelled against the American civil liberties when they claimed that their uh, campaigns were sabotaged. Oh, it's okay for Democrats to do it. They can say that the campaign was, or the election process was rigged and it was tricked. You all only see what you think is the bull sugar honey iced tea on the Republican side, but you all fail to always see crap that goes on the Democrat side.
I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of?
What?
You know what I'm getting to the Democratic Party? You know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case that the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies, duplicitous, hypocritical, untruthful tendencies. And every time they made those accusations, we turn around and find out that at least some of them are guilty of the same shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of all of it. They've actually made Donald Trump look like he was right instead of them.
Hold up. Hold up. Made Donald Trump look like he was right, Stephen A. Made Donald Trump look like he was right. He cannot bring himself to say that Mr. Trump was right and that 3/4 of the country has agreed with Mr. Trump. The legal system has agreed with Mr. Trump. I just witnessed just now that the Fannie Willis case is being kicked out because she is 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 not qualified to stay on the case against Mr. Trump down in Georgia. We'll visit that a little later. Wow, everything, all these cases are falling apart. Remember, guys, no one is above the law. So let's let Mr. Stephen A. continue.
Roland Martin is responding to. That is what he is saying he doesn't understand what the hell I'm talking about and what I'm saying when he brings that up. First of all, let me say this about Roland Martin. Not hangout buddies or anything like that, but we are friends. He's a guest on this show anytime I ask him to. I respect his knowledge, and he is absolutely right. This is his lane, not mine. Sports is my thing. This is what he does. I get that.
Think Mr. Stephen A just threw some shade right there. He was like, okay, Mr. Roland Martin, this politics thing, this is your lane. What he's throwing a dig at Mr. Roland Martin with this statement is that Roland, hey, dude, this is your thing. But evidently, your talk and your rhetoric has not impressed the American public, and you have lost some black constituents or some black voters or some black supporters. So evidently, your message is not getting across well, or your message is getting across well, and it is not being perceived well. One of the things that I used to talk about with a friend of mine who is a debate partner, he's a Democrat, leftist, liberal. I used to tell him that, dude, perception is reality. He would say, well, no, crime is down. And I would say, well, people see crime differently because, be honest with you, a lot of crime is not being reported. We're watching people fill up a bag full of goodies and roll out of places like Walgreens and not being stopped by security or the clerks. And they, as they stand there and watch this happen, this is definitely a crime that's going to go down, not reported. And then we sit there and watch the companies and businesses in California leave and go to Texas and Florida and North Carolina. Why? Because the crime is so bad there, these businesses cannot support themselves. It is too much. Now, you have to ask yourself why. And so I had a friend girl, and she said, well, you know, I was in this store one day and I watched a person steal a bunch of stuff, put it in a bag, and they walked right out while the clerks and security was watching them. They did nothing. Security did nothing. Clerks did nothing. People are getting away with this stuff because of the Democrat, leftist, liberal laws, which favors the uh, people who do crime more so than the victims of the crime. I don't know what the Democrats think they're doing. Is this some kind of reparations situation or something? But people see what they see. Um, Perception is reality. Perception is reality. We know what we see. We know when we go into the stores, especially in the hood, when we go into the stores, we see products locked up behind plexiglass cases with alarms on them. Come on, guys. Y'all know what we see in the hood in Dollar General and Dollar Tree and also in Family Dollar. Let's don't get it twisted. Democrats, this is why you lost because you do not have a good grip on reality. Roland Martin is not a fighter for you all black people. He is trying to get his bag and he hides it behind a fighter for the black community. Mr. Roland is just trying to get paid, and he hopes that the Democrat Party continues to pay him, just like they did when Kamala Harris paid him $500,000 to give her a softball interview. But I digress. Let's move forward.
But I am allowed to be an expert on what the hell comes out of my mouth and what I believe I said. And that is why I clap back respectfully at my man Roland Martin, not his panelists chirping and mimicking and laughing and giggling in the sideline like anybody know who the hell they are. I ain't talking about them. That's a waste of my time. I'm talking about my brother Roland Martin here. When you say you don't understand or you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and you have a panel to piggyback and parrot every syllable you uttered, well, why are you doing it if you didn't understand what I'm talking about? Why am I getting attacked if you don't comprehend or understand what I was saying? If it's convoluted, why not ask me to come on and clarify? Why not talk to me and say, what exactly is it that you're trying to say? That is not what Roland Martin did, ladies and gentlemen. What he did instead was marry my thoughts to these extreme conspiracy theories that the MAGA right might have put out there about the FBI having some pivotal role in what transpired on January 6th, 2021. That's what he was doing. Look at this right here. Look at this report from the DOJ. It reads, confusion and lack of coordination contributed to the FBI's inaccurate report to Congress that had canvassed field offices. After January 6th, the FBI reported to Congress that it had directed its field officers prior to January 6th to canvass their CHSS for information concerning threats in connection with the January 6th electoral certification.
January 6th electoral. We saw some stuff that went down that was nefarious and evil, guys. Those people were not tripping because they had Mr. Trump. They had their heads up Mr. Trump's butt. They saw some things that were wrong and nefarious and evil and corrupt in that election back in 2019, 2020. They put pizza boxes over the windows and kicked out the counters. And after that, they pulled big black suitcases of ballots from under the table. If that didn't look suspicious to you all, and then there was this black lady who comes out in the morning time at 2 or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and put a bunch of ballots inside of one of those drop boxes during that election time when it was COVID. I can't even begin to mention all the things here that happened during that election process that people saw. You all didn't see it because you do not see the news that we see. You see MSNBC, you see ABC, CBS, NBC, NPR, and CNN, all who are not going to report the things that we see. So you all have no idea that these things happen. But the Trump supporters saw all of these things happen. And this is why they were triggered on January the 6th. It's not their feelings and their love for Trump. They couldn't care less about Trump in certain circumstances. They saw the election process rigged and full of nefarious and crappy bull crap, bull sugar, honey, iced tea. Let's go on further, though.
However, as noted, we found that no canvassing of field officers for source information had occurred. We found that the FBI statements to Congress were not intentionally inaccurate, and that confusion and lack of coordinated communications contributed to the inaccurate reporting. Why do I bring that up? It doesn't convict the FBI. It doesn't authenticate or validate assertions from the MAGA right that somehow the FBI was corrupt and they manipulated the proceedings to, invoke or provoke violence at the U.S. Capitol that ultimately will be blamed on Donald Trump. That's not what I was saying. What I was saying is, why the hell are we hearing about this now? What took the report so damn long? How come we didn't hear about this before the election? And is it possible that the reason why we didn't hear about it before the election is because folks on the left wanted to marry January 6th completely and totally and utterly to Donald Trump? Is that clear enough? Since y'all got people chirping in since you got people chirping in your studio, let me chirp to people in my studio. Brandon, is that clear enough? Yep. Is that clear enough, man? I think it is. But let me go a step further. I'm a registered independent.
That was too funny.
There's
That
people
was
on
too
Roland
funny,
Martin
Stephen A.
Unfiltered. By the way, watch that. The brother's brilliant. I got love for him. Got over 1.5 million subscribers. Ain't trying to dissuade anybody from watching my man Roland Martin, because I watch him. What I'm saying is these people that were behind the scenes before they came
Exactly.
on as your panelists. I recall one person saying, I either need to know what the hell I'm talking about or admit that I'm 100% MAGA. I got news for you. I'm neither. I don't completely know all the intricate details.
You're neither. You're neither. You're completely independent. Mr. Stephen A. Smith, you're not center right. Don't even try to take that claim. Because if you were center right, you would probably vote Republican sometimes, Democrat sometimes. But everything you said, which is your own claim to fame, why didn't we say all of these things before the election? Why didn't you say you were center before the election? All of a sudden, you see how much of a debacle and a fiasco and a clown show that the Democrat Party is now. You want to try to save face. No, 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 bruh. We are watching you. Black community is watching you, and we don't play now. You are not center. You are a Democrat. You might try to be independent because, or say you're independent because you don't want your news agency to put you down and fire you. So you got to try to portray that you are centrist. It's not flying. The Democrats did it in such a way. It's not flying. We do not give a you know what about what you all say anymore. We only care about what you do. You're not centrist, brother. So don't even try to play that card. You are a Democrat. The only problem or reason that you're bitching and complaining right now is because Kamala Harris lost so badly that it is completely, absolutely embarrassing. And anything that you said before this election, because you supported them, you're now trying to backtrack and fix up what you said before that. I'm shocked that Mr. Roland didn't pull out some of your past statements and trounce you with those. But America, don't be fooled by this man. He is not MAGA. He is not rolling over to MAGA. He is not rolling over to Republican. He's only protecting his bag, which is the thing that everybody does. Everybody's protecting their bag. Nobody really cares about the plight and the flight of America. Only their bag, which is a euphemism for we just care about getting our money and getting paid. Like what was the rapper name? Biggie Small says it's all about the Benjamins. Let's keep going, guys.
Nor am I MAGA. I'm a registered independent who voted for Kamala Harris. Oh, by the way, they tried to sit up there and say, I didn't vote for Kamala Harris.
Well, no kidding. You voted for Kamala. Uh, but going by all the negative descriptions that you're going to say of her, sir, you should not have voted for Kamala. America, Black America, which is who Roland is talking to and Mr. Stephen A is talking to. Do you guys understand that there was another black candidate running for the presidency of America? Or did your news agencies even tell you about uh what's his name? With the crazy hair and the crazy big words he always liked to use. I'll come back with that later. What's Dr. Cornell West? Dr. Cornell West. Did y'all even know there was a real black man running? You probably didn't. The fake news agencies that you look at probably didn't tell you all this. I know they didn't tell you.
I'm sorry, I thought y'all were about facts. I did vote for her. I had my issues. I had my reservations. But I was unapologetic about who I was voting for, and I was very transparent about it. Where's your facts? So you get to engage in innuendo, express frustration, but I can't? Why not? Every time we turn around, all I was trying to say is that something repeatedly comes up that gives the right fodder to say, see, look what they did. When President Joe Biden decided to pardon his son Hunter, I got no problems with that. But I did have a problem with them lying about it for months, saying, we're about the rule of law. We're about.
Now that's an important point that Stephen A is making. Um, we don't take into account that the Democrats lie and BS us. Every little thing, if the Republicans spit on the ground or jaywalk, we want them to go to prison. But Democrats have lost their trustworthiness when Mr. Biden was saying the whole time, I'm not going to interfere with the justice system. And then when it comes down to it, he interfered with the justice system. This is all Mr. Stephen A is pointing out. Roland, do you not see this? Do you not see the hypocrisy in your own party? Can you imagine if Mr. Trump said that I'm not going to pardon one of my kids and then does it? You all would be all over the place questioning and challenging him and trying to throw him under the bus his about his truth and honesty. You all would be throwing him under the bus about his integrity.
About the rule of law. We're about the rule of law. He said he's not going to pardon Hunter. It's about the rule of law, the rule of law, the rule of law. And then all of a sudden he pardons him and you hear crickets. So here come the right again. See, they're lying. I've often joked about people like Sean Hannity and other conservatives that I know that if you are a Republican and you shot somebody in broad daylight on Fifth Avenue in New York City, the first words that would come out of their mouth is the Democrats did it first. Because their real salty position is not about acting like they're holier than thou. It's about the Democrats always acting like they're on a higher moral ground and they're above board when one nugget of evidence after another always comes forth showing us they're not. That is frustrating for somebody who doesn't know all the facts and intricate details and studies this night and day like Roland Martin. Everybody's industry or chosen profession isn't following what's happening on Capitol Hill and everything associated with it. People working 9 to 5s, taking care of families, getting stuck in traffic for 2 hours a day, preoccupied with an abundance of other things, relying on others to.
Yes, he just torched Roland. Roland, people are going about their everyday life, bruh. They are not thinking about all of this stuff, especially not during the regular years of before an election season. They're only going to think about these things during an election season. And what Mr. Stephen A has just told you, bruh, is that people will pay attention to these things when election season happens, but you all don't get it. You all have all the so-called facts and statistics and figures and information. Nobody's paying attention to it, Roland. But you are a master proving things to be true. Now, are you believable? Did you get it right? Are your facts and figures and statistics and information um, proven effective? Apparently not, because you all lost the election completely. You were absolutely destroyed. What you are failing to do is trying to figure out Where did you go wrong? Obviously, something is wrong. What you all need to do is look at a map of the United States and look at how this election ended and look at all or most of the United States in red, while only a slither of it was in blue. The slither of blue, that was you guys, Roland. Your message is not clear or you're not getting it out. What is the problem, sir? You need to listen to Mr. Smith, and instead of coming back with a rebuttal video, then you need to listen to what he says and maybe try to figure out where you guys went wrong because you obviously did.
Give them information, but also frustrated that everybody's got to spin. That's all I was saying. I didn't take a definitive position against anybody into perpetuity. I'm simply making the point that it gets frustrating to see little nuggets of intel always leaking out, usually after the fact, incriminating one side or the other all the damn time. And Roland Martin will come up with his facts and he'll spew them out for the world to know. That doesn't erase the perception. And Roland Martin, you know this better than me, bruh. Perceptions provoke people's attitude while they walk to the polls, even more so than the facts. It's not that the facts don't matter.
Perception is reality.
But that they
That's just
always
it,
seem
guys.
so debatable, ultimately it comes back to how you feel. Am I clear enough, B? Am I convoluted now, fellas, ladies? I'm a frustrated voter. I watched the Democrats get their ass kicked. I watched them in the aftermath of the election literally say, well, Trump really didn't win the popular vote. I mean, he didn't get 50% of the vote. Who cares? He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college vote. He won all the swing states. He increased in practically every demographic. And you got people coming on the airways. Well, it really wasn't a referendum against the Democratic Party because, you know what? He didn't get 50% of the vote. He didn't get 50%.
There's the map I was talking about. There's the map I was talking about, guys. Do you all see how red this is? Look at all that red. The blue is the Democrats. All that red is the Republicans. This is how America voted this time, guys. We didn't make this up. Something is wrong with the Democrat Party. But if you notice, all of these blue states include major cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, Baltimore, D.C. This is where uh, Democrats lie in the heart of big cities. The rest of America is bound to solid ideas. This is why we need the Electoral College. Let's continue on. Let's dive in.
50% of the popular vote. Really? They got the White House, the House, and the Senate. I was speaking macro. I was just saying, hey, yet another thing that they can point to stake some claim to how they've been victimized by the hands of the left. Are they probably lying? Some of them, yeah, sure.
But hold up, Stephen A. Since you're center, it still sounds like you're making up excuses for the Democrats. I mean, really, dude? So the Democrats have messed up. And so they have given an opportunity to the Republicans to seize on those mistakes. And the Republicans have taken advantage of those opportunities and they have prevailed. What it sounds like, sir, is that you are disappointed that the Democrat Party have made so many mistakes and that they have failed. If you're a centrist, if you're in the middle and you're an independent, you should say, well, hey, no, the Republicans have done a great job on communicating their objectives to the American public. And those objectives are things that the American public can get with or ride on or believe in or roll with, however you want to put it. It sounds like you're disappointed. If you're a true centrist, you shouldn't care whether the Democrats got their message across or that people believed in their message. Dude, stop playing. You're a Democrat. You're just trying to save your job. You're trying to play the middle against the ends. You're trying to straddle the fence. And this is big mistake that you Democrats are making right now. We can see the bull sugar honey iced tea on y'all side. We're not stupid. We see through the bull crap, guys. Stop playing us. Stop trying to play us, Stephen A. and Mr. Roland Martin.
But what are the Democrats doing? The Democrats, they're for the working class, they're for the working class, they're for the working class. Well, the working class doesn't feel that way. Then after the election, we're hearing some Democrats go out there and they're talking about how too many people in the party are about catering to the elite. Well, that's what they were accusing the Republicans of doing. You see how confusing it gets? Not for you, Roland. You might know. What about your 1.5 million subscribers? They know. What about your boys? They know. What about people that walk through the streets throughout America because you roaming around all over the damn place? They know. If they know so much, Roland, why were you determined for Trump's lies not to be heard? If they know so much, Roland, because they listening to you, why were you so fixated on standing right there in the audience? And whenever Trump spoke, you came on this show and you said you were going to stand up and scream lies.
Now, Mr. Stephen A is calling out Roland again. Boy, he is tearing you a new butthole, Roland. Because first of all, Mr. Trump invited you, Mr. Roland, to come to his press conferences and ask questions, and you turned it down. You act like a little. I'm sorry. I got to get my Bible out because I'm getting ready to cuss. I got to say this, Mr. Roland. You're acting like a little bitch. What you should have done was to accept that offer and get in there and ask questions. If you're so concerned about the black plight of the black community, you should have gotten in there and asked questions and challenged Mr. Trump. Number one. Number two, what you should do, and what all black celebrities should do who want to go to Mr. Trump again. Like Steve Harvey, Kanye West. All you all go again and say, Mr. Trump, what can you do for the black community? Let him answer, but also bring him your solutions on what you think he can do for the black community. Stop going against your enemies because this is one of the things that y'all's great black hope taught us, Mr. Obama, who said it's best to sit down and talk with your enemies. That way, you can come to a conclusion or you can come to a compromise. Anything that stops us from having a physical war conflict. I'm just saying.
If they know, because they listening to you and other folks who think like you and know what you know, then you wouldn't have to worry about doing that because they would have consumed your message and they would know he's lying, wouldn't they? You know better. And you know that most people are frustrated citizens who vote, who are mindful of the times that we're living in, and want finite, definitive evidence about which side is right and which side is wrong with no convolution in the equation. And when reports like the DOJ comes out talking about the FBI on January 6th and parsing words like they weren't intentionally inaccurate. Well, why the hell add the word intentionally? You were inaccurate or you were inaccurate? Where the hell intentional comes from? That's a perception. That's an opinion. That's not a fact. That's a report that said they weren't intentionally inaccurate. How can you prove somebody wasn't intentionally inaccurate? That is a thought. It's just me. I know you know what you're talking about in politics. I know what I'm talking about in sports. I just thought that as two common sense people, we could relate to one another feeling frustrated on either side.
Stephen A is smooth because right here, he is taking another dig at Roland Martin. Just pay attention closely, guys. You will see how he subtly and intelligently and intellectually takes a big hit on Roland Martin. This dude doesn't play either. Think, Mr. Roland, you have met your man.
See, you all the way left, in my opinion.
All the way live.
I'm center. I see bullshit on both sides.
Bull what?
I know you do too. Better than me. The difference is you care a lot more about one side.
No, Stephen, he doesn't care more about the Democrat side. Roland cares about his side, and that's the side where he's trying to make his bag, where he's trying to make his money. What he wants is the Democrat Party to invest more into his media company. That's all Roland is about.
I don't give a shit about either. I just want as close to the truth as I can get to elevate my level of understanding. I am sorry, Roland Martin, if that was such a bad thing that would get you so riled up that not only did you have to come at me, you had to throw on the cowboy hat to do it. But I liked seeing it on you, bro. It looked good on you. Your panel, it is what it is. That's all I got to say about that. I hope I provided some clarity. I was just frustrated at the right having something in their mind to point to the left about again, and the left seemingly slipping up on providing the ammunition because of the timing of the report coming out and whatever potential role they may or may not have played. I just thought it added fodder and fuel.
Once again, he's showing you why he is really a Democrat leftist liberal. He just said it again, that he's disappointed that the Democrats did not state their case or make their case. He's disappointed that they lost. He didn't want them to lose. He wanted them to win. But what if the Republicans had or the conservatives had a better program for the United States and for the citizens of the country? He isn't looking at that. He's still stating why he's disappointed in the Democrats. This is the argument between, or the fight between him and Mr. Roland Martin. You telling on yourself, bruh. You're not as smart as you think you are either.
To a side that is already kicking the lefts behind right now. That's all. I wasn't trying to be specific. I was just expressing frustration
Stop apologizing.
as a conscientious observer.
On the down low,
Not an expert like you, bro. I know my lane.
don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Please share this information with your family and your friends and your loved ones. Please help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We are a beginning channel, and we're going to try to get the news and information and the truth to you as quickly as possible. So help us reach 1,000 subscribers. And also, don't forget to go down in the comments bar and say what you think or feel or like or whatever you want to say. We'll answer everyone. We will get back in touch with you as soon as possible. In conclusion, guys, we just like to say thank you for watching as much as you have. And everyone, have a good and godly, blessed life. Amen. Amen.